So I'm kind of doing a reno save file in the Sims 4. Maybe hopefully one day I'll be able to upload it on the gallery. So far we have done garden essence, made it into a trailer park. We have fixed Rindle Rose. I was about to say that now we're renovating the Crypt Cabana lot, although it seems like my game has frozen because the Sims 4 is trash. This slot I just feel needs dire saving. I really don't like the layout. I think the layout looks a bit weird. The fact that there's like no doorway into the bedroom, like it's just so dumb. Why isn't there a doorway into the bedroom? Why is this kid's bedroom so sad? To be fair, I think the living room layout is a great living room starter layout. Some renos need a complete change, like the trailer park reno, the BFF household really needed something brand new and exciting. But for renos like this, I want to keep it related to how the original build looks, and I also want to keep it within a starter lot budget, and I'm going to try really hard to use minimal packs. So to start off with the roof, immediately we're bringing the eaves out, and we can do it for this section here too. I'm also adding spandrels to every single wall here to make it look a bit nicer and give it some more depth. I think it's a bit weird here that the stairs like go inwards. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like the decking, it needs to be pushed out this way, and then we instead have the stairs here. So I feel like already it looks slightly better. I want to add another column here as well. Add some columns onto the sides here. Something that annoys me about this base game wallpaper with the fake column paint is it doesn't automatically apply everywhere like it didn't on this corner. That's why I think it's honestly better to just not use it. So instead I'm just replacing it with the version that does not have a tile around it. Another thing I would like to do is just move the whole lot slightly over to one side, and that will give us enough room so that we can make a little garden. I'm also thinking it would be nice to add a realistic extension onto the house. I think this living room area is generally quite small. We could always literally just extend the living room out like this and have a larger living room here. I'm still checking the budget to make sure it is in budget, so that way we have enough room for maybe a nicer TV. I guess all we need to do is just add a roof in onto the side, and then it seems to fit it nicely. Another thing I would like to do is change the decking to an actual decking so it makes sense. When it comes to adding on house extensions, sometimes I don't think it's realistic to copy the exact same wall swatch around the entire site because it's literally an extension to the original house. So it makes sense that you might use different building materials. When I do extensions, I normally like to use this base game wall swatch because to me it just feels like they've added a brand new brick extension to the house, and I just feel like it gives the house a little bit more character. And on that note, I would also like to give the property a brand new coat of paint for the main siding. Maybe we could go for a really fun green. I think that looks really cool. And then of course the renovation should also come with a brand new roofing. I forgot the word. What are they called? Tiles. There we go. Roof tiles. Maybe not jet black. I actually like the idea of using these base game shingles, the palish ones. I think they match the color scheme quite well, but I will be adding some of the same windows all around here. Already I feel like it looks a little bit nicer. We could also add, you know, a small deck here, and we could turn this into a mini garden. There will most definitely be an emphasis on mini here because we don't really have that much room, but I think we could do something nice with the space. Very small. This is like a proper British garden. It feels very British to me. Also, guys, I really hate how we don't have any tall single tile fences. Like, doesn't it just look really odd to you that we've got like a smaller one? To combat this, I normally just use a very basic small fence and then just add a gate to that specific fence. So it doesn't really feel like as weird to me if I do it that way. I'm also going to remove these floor tiles whilst we're outside and then change it to something a little bit more cobbled. Also, when you have these like very small gardens like this, I think it's very, very normal to have like no plants in them. Again, I don't know if this is a British thing, but when we have really tiny gardens like this, there's usually no grass because the landlord doesn't want to deal with the upkeep. So it's just graveled all the way over. And the last main thing for the outside is a fake chimney. I just think it adds to it. In terms of working on the inside, obviously we're going to be building this wall right here. I'm just going to remove all of the furnishings that are in there because they all just feel like pretty tragic and awful. I'll leave the bathroom. I kind of want to leave the fitted kitchen because again, it's more realistic because it's literally fitted and there's like nothing you can do about it because it's fitted. I'm also going to move the toilet roll because it's in such like a weird position. Like it needs to be here. Now, this is very clearly like a small family home because it's got 2 bedrooms. For the parents' bedroom, if you've seen my Reno series before, you guys know, even though I try to keep things mostly base game, I do like to use the get together closets in the main bedrooms because I think it adds to it. But if you don't own get together, that's fine. You can just remove it. I'm going to centralize the windows here a bit too because it's very dark. Obviously, it's supposed to be a base game build, so it's supposed to have a crappy bed. So we'll just use this cheapish one here. It's only 430. It's the cheapest base game bed that exists in the game. I feel like there's not much that we can do in terms of making it look pretty because we've only got cheap base game things, but I usually find in that instance you can use color to your advantage and you can just experiment with using different colors in order to make different things work. So for this bedroom, I'm trying to use like muted pastel colors, orange and green mostly. Ideally, I'd like to put something in this space here, maybe a desk if we have enough money at the end, but I won't do that now just because I don't know how much money that we will actually end up having. I find when I do these reno videos, the best thing to do is just to add in the basics from the start and then just build it all the way up from there. So I kind of like the idea of a strong, striking orangey color for the walls. Yes, I do. I think it's going to be a real challenge to decorate it looking like that, but I would like to resurface the counters to a modern black and white. Again, I feel like this is a realistic reno because it is a lot cheaper to just like resurface your counters instead of getting new ones. Also, I really just hate it how like the sink is right next to the oven. I just think it's a bit weird. I'm moving the sink. Yes, I am. I just find it a little bit weird. I do. Unless we actually move the sink there, maybe we could put the fridge here and move. I say I'm making it realistic. We're moving a whole counter. I just feel like it looks a lot better when they're just a little bit apart. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, we need a dining table. I want to keep this built maybe a little bit more modern looking, although of course we have to still keep it very, very cheap and tacky. So I guess we could fit everything like just like this. It doesn't have to be central to this area here. It can be a little bit off. Or I'm going to change the lighting in here, though it looks god awful. Although there's not much in the base game that's actually good lighting, so maybe it will be even tougher. Maybe we could just do it like this and have a wall light in the corner here to at least illuminate this hallway a little bit. So the great thing about our new living room is I think we can fit a whole 3-seater. Okay, 3-seater. Okay, we can, but this is a base game build. This is a base game starter home. Maybe we shouldn't be doing 3-seater sofas. Just a 1-seater and a chair. There we go. That will fit. Though I'd like to use a different kind of design this time round. Though maybe we should go 3-seater because this is technically going to be a family home. So there will be a lot of Sims living here. So I feel like it all fits together quite nicely. We are at 16,800 simoleons. So I feel like maybe we overspent a little bit on the living room. We'll have to wait and see. I also really want some kitchen cabinets. For some reason, kitchen cabinets in the Sims 4 base game are just like so horrifically expensive. And there's like no reason why. It makes it feel impossible to literally place anything. Maybe we could, okay, like we can at least have 3 like this. Maybe 1 above the cooker. We also need an oven hood, preferably. Obviously just a cheap one. This is where I've realized maybe we've spent a little bit. Okay, we need to be stingy. I'm spending too much money. I'm sorry. Although, as this is a 2-bedroom household, I believe the starter home budget is 20k plus an extra 2,000 for every extra sim. You're going to have at least 2 sims here because it's a 2-bedroom household. So maybe we should be working with a 22k budget because that just feels like it makes a lot more sense to me. I feel like this side bedroom works best as a kid's bedroom. I can't imagine any adult wanting to sleep in here because it's very small. So I'm putting a bunk bed here. So if you do have more than one child here, you can just add another bunk underneath. But for the most part, you can add, you know, a dresser under there or anything else. So it's quite practical. So we've got all the basics apart from fun stuff. So of course, it's like a cliche now that every single Sims 4 build must come with a bookshelf, which I don't really know why. I don't know why everybody loves to put bookshelves in their builds, but that's what everybody does. So that's what we're doing today. We're putting a little bookshelf. I do want to decorate it a little bit, just as much as I can. Maybe we could add this table, which actually came as a base game update. So you wouldn't have ordinarily seen this in any of the base game builds, which I think is one of the main reasons why I really like doing renos, because you get to add stuff that they've added in from free base game updates that you wouldn't have thought of before. I'm really happy with this. I feel like we've got the basics in and we can finally start on renovating. Obviously, I wanted like, okay, I'm just getting rid of all these plants now. Like, we're most definitely sorting out all of this stuff. Oh, it's called Proud Pansy, just like me. Also, like, what the hell is this terrain paint used? This is awful. Okay, I'm getting distracted. We need to focus on the inside. That is the priority to begin with. Although I do know, I genuinely do like this bathroom. All I want to do is just change the wall swatch, just using a plain white one, or we could actually just use this blue one. I quite like it because it's got all the basics there for a starter home. I will also change the kids' bedroom. I like the idea of using a bright yellow, actually. You could even use a bright red flooring and just make it really crazy and multicolored everywhere. That's what I'd like to do, actually. Although I did say before, I would really like to add a desk into the parents' bedroom. So with our leftover little bit of money, we could add a nice little desk in here, which will be perfect for basically everything. Every single Sims 4 starter home needs to have a computer in it eventually. So that'll do. I'd also like to have at least one hobby object. So maybe a bit cliche. I like the idea of using an art easel in the garden. Not that there's anything nice to take a picture of out here, but you can't really paint from reference here, but you can paint some things. Decorating is where it starts to get really overpriced, and I really wanted to have curtains in here, but I just don't know how realistic it will be to be able to afford some curtains in this build. I'm gonna try really hard to make it work. If I just stick with some very basic, like, base game curtains, maybe it will be okay. We are at 19,400 now. The curtains are 60 simoleons each, and obviously we need to use a lot of them, so that's where all the money's going. Although we've done them all now, it's fine. Before I want to decorate the inside, I would like to do some decorating on the outside first, because I feel like having a nicely presented outside is a little bit more important. Could we afford a tree? It's a little bit of a risk getting a tree. I would like one though, like maybe just a long tall tree like this. Do you know what I mean? Or a European beech tree. These are quite nice. I just feel like plants are so unnecessarily expensive, although they are in real life as well, so it kind of makes sense. Again, as it's just a starter home, I do have to think, like, we can't do that much decoration. I just feel like when it comes to house building, most people don't enjoy, from what I gather anyway, is most people don't really enjoy renovating the outsides. Most people just enjoy fixing the insides up and making pretty interiors, but not necessarily exteriors. So I feel like it's necessary in a lot of starter builds to just do at least a little bit on the outside. Although I would say it's relatively empty out of here. There isn't too much, well, too much of the budget is gone, but there aren't too many plants. So it's not as expensive as it would have been if I were to have spent lots and lots of time on it. Now, I feel like, again, we can start focusing a little bit more on decorations now. So I definitely like a porch light here, and we can add some basic plants inside, just some really cheap ones, can't be too much. Although this TV is so small, if you're watching TV, this tiny plant will literally be in your way. Though that sounds like oh my god, I didn't even think about the kids' room. We've got nothing. Oh my god, we've got okay, the kid has a dresser. Can we afford a toy box? We can't really afford a toy box, but in fact, I'm going to put the toy box in the living room because I think it's more realistic that way. And then maybe then we have enough room for a Sims 4 dollhouse and we won't have to size it down. It can just stay its same size. Although yes, I will be sizing it down at least just once because, or actually maybe twice because I really hate how big they are. And then we can get a little teddy bear too. There we go. We have some stuff for the kids' bedroom at the very least, but we really need some money because I've spent too much. What do? I really don't want to get rid of my upper cabinets because I think they're necessary. I mean, okay, we're going to have to downgrade, aren't we? Like this sofa's too expensive. We're going to have to change to a different base game sofa. I mean, it doesn't look that different to be fair. This cheaper one actually looks a lot nicer. How on earth is this sofa more expensive than this one? That's literally crazy. Well, I'll go for the cheaper one. There we go. That's completely fine with me. If we get rid of this middle window and the curtains here, that saves us a little bit of money. I mean, this round lighting I've put in the kids' room is 150 simoleons, which maybe is a little bit dramatic. So we go for this 70 simoleon kids ceiling light. So that'll be cheaper. This one is 150, which is a little bit much. We can replace it with this one, which is only 120. That's 30 simoleons saved. Every little helps. We'll replace the kitchen one with just a standard ceiling light like this. Do you know what? I'm getting rid of the doll's house. It's 170 simoleons. I'm sorry to the child here. It's just too much. You've got toys, all right, mate? You've got toys. It's not like there's any family gameplay in The Sims 4 anyway, so kids can't really do anything anyway in this game. Okay, I want to decorate with a fake washing hamper. Maybe like just some basic kitchen decorations. Like I just want to add at least something. I don't want my build to just feel completely empty. It needs to have a little bit of character. Even if we just use these 30 simoleon boxes as decorations, it's better than nothing. Absolutely. So I feel like we've got enough basic decor here. Tissues next to the bed for you know what. Basket of fake kids toys. So I feel like, you know, we've got quite a lot of nice stuff. We're currently at 20,500. So if your sim moved in, they'd only have 1,500 simoleons left. But they've literally got a kitchen, a dining room, a bathroom. They've got a TV, bookshelves. We've got a wardrobe and a desk and a double bed and a kid's bed. And you've even got an art easel out here. You've got your own garden. Like, you've got it nicely decorated. Like, I think this is a really great starter home. You're right next to a couple of fishing spots in this world. There is also a community garden here too, so you won't need to do your own gardening. And you're, of course, living next to fairyland. So I feel like there's enough for your Sims to do if they lived here in terms of the build and the general world around them. I feel like it's been modernized enough, so it still kind of looks tacky and cheap, but we've added some just different kinds of furnishings and different kinds of things in here, so it feels very colorful. I kind of wanted to do a very colorful vibe with this house, and I feel like we've achieved that. So there we go. I'll pop it on the gallery if you want it. I'm thinking about making this a whole series of renovating everywhere in Willow Creek, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss another episode of this. And if you enjoyed this video, you might also enjoy the next one recommended here. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I will see you in the next one.